a coworker of mine brought up an idea that I thought was really interesting, and it was to prevent all the NIL money essentially going to the teams that have the most money and being able to create the super teams again. And his idea was tiers. So essentially you have, let's say, 5 tier 1 players that you can designate on your team, and they can't make more than $1 million. Tier 2, you get 10 players. They can't make more than $250,000, and so on and so forth. What do you guys think of that?
So so that's one way to do a salary cap.
It's a version of
a version of the salary cap, which, listen, at this point, Adam, I'll just take some rules, bro. I'll just take some rules. Like, it's, again, I'm past the point of this is the best way to do it, because I know they're not going to do it. They never do that. Government never does that. Industry never does that. Business never does that. Like, at this point, can we just put a rule in there? I mean, the NCAA right now, it's gotten to the point where I'm having to praise the NCAA for going to bat in court to try and keep guys from transferring every single year.
And it gets overturned.
It gets overturned. Will Wade, the old LSU basketball coach, I don't know if y'all saw this, who's the head coach of McNeese State, was like, do you think that the NCAA or anybody is going to win any of these court battles when they're going against the player? That's not going to work. There's not a judge that's going to turn it down. And he's exactly right.
And that's to your point, Adam. What you just said is a very good and rational solution to some of the things that we've seen in college athletics. But the NCAA is not going to institute that policy. And even if they did, a federal judge would issue a temporary restraining order, just like we just saw with the transfer portal last week. And it would go nowhere. That's why they're desperate for Congress to act. That's why we had Senator Ted Cruz on here and Senator Tommy Tuberville. And I hate that we've gotten to a point where the government has to get involved in college football.
Anytime the government gets involved in anything, they screw it up. But, I mean, So you don't think Ted Cruz would go for something like this? No, I think there's some people that would, but just in aggregate, you're not going to have enough. The amount of antitrust lawsuits that would come out of this thing would make your head spin. That's the worst thing, the worst part about them not that there is NIL, but they let it out with no guardrails. Not that there is the transfer portal, but they let it out with no guardrails, right? So, you can't put it... Go ahead.
I'm just saying, do you think we're moving back to where Alabama, Ohio State, Michigan, Texas A&M are just going to be the top teams because they have the most money to give out to players?
I don't think we ever left.
I think what almost cancels that out is the transfer portal. Like, I really do. I think transfer portal can...
But NIL's in the transfer portal. That's where the biggest contracts are going to be signed, is in the transfer portal.
I agree, but Jake, I do think we've kind of left that because, like you guys said, this is the first year where we've seen about 8 teams that could legitimately compete for a national championship.
Adam, but is that, again, what do they say? Like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I've got to see if this is the anomaly year. Or can we have a couple years like this back to back? And Adam, I hope so.
Because some of this could be because of the extra COVID eligibility too. When you look at what Michael Penix Jr. has done for Washington and had additional years.
Dylan Gabriel, Bo Nix.
So, anyway, hopefully we can keep it going though.
I hope we can, man. Hey,
I'm a Ducks fan, guys. I see the transfer portal helping us a lot.
Sure. Well, you're behind enemy lines then.
Walter Nolan possibly yeah, I am. But I still want to see. I want to see what happens with their restrictions on transfer portals, but especially the NIL and kids coming out of high school. That's what I'm interested to see, is how are these 5 stars and 4 stars getting paid out of high school?
No, without a doubt.
I got one more question for you, boys.
Go ahead.
Did you guys see Chip Kelly's clip?
Fantastic.
We're going to play it this week.
Yeah. We're going to react to it this week. I thought it was fantastic.
I love Chip, man.
Awesome. Yeah, that's something I just wanted to get your guys' opinion
on. I was happy to hear it, man. It's going to take more guys like that who are living it. He's living it every day. That's his job. That's his livelihood. It's going to take more guys like that coming up with solutions and everybody getting together and let's implement.
I hope so. That'd be a first. But Adam, thanks so much, buddy.
Great call, Adam.
Hey, everybody on YouTube, thanks for stopping by. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We drop content all the time, even over the Christmas break. If you haven't seen Lady Ballers, our new movie that's absolutely blowing up, make sure you go to the Daily Wire Plus and check it out. But turn on that notification bell and hit that like button on every video you see. We really appreciate it.